Well, I love that general theme of how can we look for common ground.
Yes.
I was doing just a talk with a special interest group in a technology company.
Uh-huh.
And this was all their employees who were over 40 years old, which seems like a funny special interest group to most people listening to this. That they had maybe 30 employees and they had about 1,500 overall employees. The 30 were over 40.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the individuals in the group, he was an African-American male. He had served in the military at some point, and he stood up and he said, I grew up where, even though we have a lot of differences, I grew up where the goal was to always try and find what was more similar. What was our common ground? He says that just doesn't seem to be the case anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that you're kind of bringing that back, that how do we kind of look for common ground? And it's okay that we don't necessarily agree on everything, but where can we agree?
You used to be able to find public figures that could sit down in government and church, a number of different places where they could sit down, even though they strongly disagreed, and find a way to work through the issues, talk about them, and at the end of it, shake hands and say, I respect your point of view, but disagree. And that's being lost. And what really worries me is the generations that follow us are going to follow our example. And if our generations that are out there in leadership roles today can't find a way to be civil and get along, well, we're teaching the folks that are coming into the workplace today, coming into society today as adults, that must be the way we do it. So we've got to push back. So that's another countercultural element of the book is civility by itself is countercultural. We're not talking about it enough. But I hope that people read that and they will pull back from the precipice and start to engage with people that they used to disagree with a little differently.
Beautiful, Randy. So that nice segue into one of my last questions.
Sure.
So second to last question. Folks read this book. They pick it up. It's a beautiful read. It's an easy read. What would you hope would be their takeaway? What would you hope a busy professional would put this book down at the end and say, wow, this is what I got from the book?
I want people that read the book to be much more adept and see the value of pausing and thinking and reflecting. Now that seems very obvious and very basic, but just taking a moment to think about where they are, who they're with. What am I learning from this situation? What am I gaining from my conversation with Brandon? What are the nuggets? And then reflecting a little bit on how do I use that in my life? How do I take it forward? How do I pass it along to others? And if we would stop racing from meeting to meeting, from day to day, from activity to activity, my kids are grown up now, but it used to be work all day, kids activities all night. You collapse in a heap at 10 o'clock and you start the next day. If I can get people to pull back a little and just live in the moment, that would be a huge takeaway. And that would be my hope for the reader. And this book comes at that topic from so many different angles that there's something in it for everybody. And by the way, I think I've told you this, the introduction and the conclusion are probably the only two places in the book that I actually give some hopeful best practices on how to be reflective. So the beginning and the end are about how to do it. But in the middle of the book, the rest of it is written through the prism of reflection. So I not only give you how to do it at the beginning and the end, but in the middle of it, I simply tell you these are my experiences, but they were written through the prism of reflection.
Beautiful. So you're kind of modeling it for everybody.
Hopefully.
Excellent. So, Leadership Foundry podcast. On this podcast, we always ask all of our guests one closing question. What's one practical tip for us for how we could be better leaders starting tomorrow?
My advice would be, and this is something that the book will help you do, is during the course of the day, do your very best to find some small windows. You and I talk about the concept of air, having air in the calendar. But if you can find time in the morning and the afternoon to simply pause and reflect on who have you encountered today? Who are the people that have crossed my path? Who are the people that I'll be engaging with for the rest of the day? And not only think about those people, but think about what's going on in their world. What can I do best to serve them? How can I help them be successful? If we would stop looking at our days as a series of just, a blur of activity and actually think about, I'm encountering fellow human beings today, workplace, community, work, family. And if I could just be more present, think about what they need from me, and maybe even think about what can I ask them for that maybe I need in my own life. If we could get to that place of awareness, each day, I think the world would be a better place. That's my advice to anyone,
Yeah.
business leader or whoever.